Together, let us bask in the sacred presence that transcends all understanding. Chosen One, you are bringing harsh criticism to their cult establishment, which is why the Masons dislike you. For many years, these shadow organizations have been constructing their house of cards around your life. Today, however, their whole structure is on the verge of disintegrating into dust as the cosmic winds roar. Before administering the spiritual beating these cult members have earned through years of attacking someone whose cosmic status makes their small earthly organization appear like a kindergarten finger-painting club, the gateway energy sizzling through the atmosphere is cracking its knuckles. However, this is just the beginning of an earthquake that would level their whole base. Soon, the desperation that is starting to permeate their ranks will escalate to a suicidal level, and the discovery of your true ancestry will reveal generational lies. Unbeknownst to you, a surveillance network has been recording everything you do and providing intelligence to lodge meetings where your removal is the main priority. However, they are unaware that their own monitoring systems would end up becoming the tools used to destroy them. Former allies, the karmic companion who once walked with you, are the first to show signs of their disintegration. The black magic they've been using against you has flipped around like a spiritual boomerang, and now they're thinking of taking their own lives. These are not merely unsuccessful binding rites or love spells. Practitioners who focused on death magic and spent years creating suicidal spells meant to destroy your will to live are the ones we are discussing. They are now being consumed by those same forces from within, learning what happens when you assault someone who is protected by the divine. In the meantime, practitioners all across the world are suffering disastrous reversals because they believed that distance would shield them from karmic wrath. When their meticulously planned rituals fall apart internally, the foreign magicians who took payment to ruin your peace of mind are now losing their own sanity. During ceremonies, some people claim that their altars spontaneously catch fire. Others talk about protective circles that become prisons, where they are imprisoned by the exact things they called upon to harm you. Recognize that the webs of deceit are deeper than any outward disclosure might imply, and that the individual practitioners are only foot soldiers in a much greater conspiracy. The persons you have referred to as relatives are part of a demonic network that has been stealing your spiritual energy since birth, hidden behind the facade of your so-called family. The horrifying truth would come to light through DNA testing. They are not your biological relatives at all. Instead, they are strategically positioned spiritual parasites who have been chosen to drain your energy and keep you unaware of your true ancestry. Plasma manipulation and RH factor secrets that link to your interdimensional beginnings are part of the bloodline deception. The souls of reborn monks and divine beings, souls that have roamed this earth as gods among mortals, are your true ancestors. Through ceremonial procedures intended to pass your spiritual abilities to their selected initiates, these shadow groups have been frantically attempting to corrupt or steal the genetic markers found in your blood. However, divine DNA can only be awakened from within. It cannot be stolen. Forged birth certificates, altered adoption records, and fabricated genealogy records that present an entirely made-up family tree are all examples of the fraud. These groups have been working for generations to eradicate or appropriate the spiritual royalty that your real parents, your true bloodline, connect to. Ironically, your heritage has been protected by their efforts to stifle it, meaning that your gifts will remain dormant until the designated time for awakening. The surveillance network that tracks your every action, meanwhile, is more larger than the average person could possibly imagine. With the systematic accuracy of scientists studying a rare species, those Masons who claim to be community pillars have been observing you every day, following your activities through public areas and retail malls, and recording your spiritual development. In order to provide intelligence to lodge meetings where your elimination is the main agenda item, their spies pretend to be cashiers, security personnel, and other customers. $90 is a handkerchief for a mother's tear, a blanket for a homeless person, a prayer for a broken heart. Every big box store you visit has turned into a monitoring station, but they haven't realized the deadly weakness in their surveillance network. That family dollar, where odd things kept happening, is a front business, not a coincidence. The person who appeared to be so kind and considerate, your karmic relative, has been deliberately tainting your items with chemicals that are meant to impair your psychic defenses. The poison was intended to weaken your spiritual perceptions and prevent your gifts from completely developing, not to destroy your physical body. The pollution effort is the result of years of meticulous preparation. Based on your purchasing habits, certain household products were targeted, such as cleaning supplies containing chemicals that cause brain fog, personal care products containing synthetic hormones that impair spiritual perception, and even food items tainted by supply chain infiltration. This results in a continuous low-level poisoning that is intended to keep your consciousness suppressed. Federal investigators, meanwhile, have been constructing a case that will reveal their crimes in ways that make their retail operations appear like child's play while they have been engaging in their small-scale contamination games. Through court documents that hold your name and were purposefully buried in probate processes intended to take your material and spiritual legacy, the legal system has been used as a weapon against your inheritance. Fraudulent death certificates have been used to redirect insurance plans that designate you as a beneficiary. Indeed, they fabricated your death on paper in order to receive benefits while you were still alive, even though it was illegal. Corrupt medical examiners, bribed court clerks, and fake autopsy reports that declared you dead while you continued to live under a false legal name they created were all part of the insurance fraud scam. They were able to claim life insurance payouts, inherit property that was earmarked for you, and even receive Social Security benefits in your name thanks to the death certificate scam. You were in a legal limbo in the meantime, unable to contest their theft through the proper channels or obtain your rightful inheritance. The spiritual technologies your ancestors developed over millennia, such as visualization techniques that instantaneously manifest material riches, prayer formulations that compel heavenly involvement, and meditation techniques that can change physical reality, are part of your genuine birthright. These gifts were stored away in your genetic makeup, awaiting the time when your awareness would grow sufficiently to allow you to securely access them. Their meddling in your holy union shows the full extent of their desperation, and your twin flame connection is the ultimate challenge to their control matrix. A karmic ex whose fixation verges on demonic possession has imprisoned the divine masculine energy that was meant to merge with yours in court procedures. This isn't just any love drama. It's deliberate meddling with a cosmic union that would greatly increase both of your abilities. Federal investigators have found evidence that reads like something from humanity's worst nightmares. Body parts found in ritualistic arrangements, children reported missing from the areas surrounding their meeting locations, and church establishments acting as fronts for trafficking operations where star-child souls with extraordinary spiritual gifts are examined like lab specimens. Their desperation has caused them to be careless. It is not a coincidence that Amber Alerts tend to concentrate in particular areas. Rather, they are the signs of systematic spiritual predation. Children who exhibit remarkable intelligence, artistic talent, or psychic abilities are specifically targeted by the trafficking network. Under the pretense of family emergencies, runaway cases, or custody problems, these famous kids are abducted. After entering the system, students go through tests intended to extract their spiritual energy and provide it to mature practitioners who don't have any innate abilities. The operations take place in establishments posing as medical research facilities, religious retreats, and therapeutic boarding schools. The diseases that his cult purposefully transmits through ritualistic contact are carried by the Masonic warlock at the core of this web. His anger at your inability to follow his energy and tune in to his frequency has pushed him to enlist more people in increasingly violent plots. The group meetings that are now taking place in your region are planning sessions where paid hits are being scheduled, not social events, not actual physical assassination attempts, though those might occur. but planned psychological assaults intended to overwhelm your nerve system and cause collapses that would require you to be institutionalized or admitted to the hospital. Sending $45 is filled with love, like Jesus' last words on the cross. Forgive, for they know not what they do. For this attack, master wizard practitioners have been hired, whose skills much beyond those amateur spellcasters. Energy from portal days is being captured and turned into weapons. Dimensional portals opened, allowing evil forces to enter your home directly, in order to generate a continuous assault of spiritual violence that they hope will ultimately overcome your resistance. They are coordinating these attacks across time zones and timing them for maximum impact. The fact that these groups are involved shows how much they want you eliminated, and the master wizards charge millions for their services. They operate from private estates, have teams of assistants, and have connections with government officials who offer protection in return for intelligence services. They are not street-level practitioners working from apartments. The boundaries between the supernatural and the scientific are blurred by their use of psychological warfare tactics, pharmacological chemicals, and cutting-edge technology. Their modern magic cannot reach the depths of your ancestors' protection. The cosmic forces that are lining up to protect you work on frequencies that are invisible to them. The spirit of your departed grandma has returned from the opposite side to protect your energy field at this very moment while these forces are building against you. She has complete divine ability to reveal every falsehood, lift every curse, and return every blessing that was taken from your lineage when she returns from the spiritual world. Spiritual warriors from various lifetimes, beings who functioned as guards, healers, and mystics in various civilizations and eras, are part of the Ancestral army. They bring with them centuries' worth of knowledge, magical methods that are older than anything these contemporary practitioners comprehend, and above all, direct access to divine power that renders earthly magic insignificant because of your spiritual rank or place in the cosmic order. Anyone who attacks you will automatically suffer karmic repercussions. Not only are they battling you, but they are also disobeying the Most High's stated protection of selected boats. Their network experienced spiritual shock waves from that one night of intense prayer, when you connected with divine frequency rather than playing along with their drama. As a result, practitioners collapsed under the weight of their own redirected malevolence, because they choose to confront someone whose cosmic rank surpasses their entire organizational structure. What they spent years building is collapsing in a matter of weeks. They are interfering with your financial abundance, which is more than just material prosperity. The resultant fortune will finance a mission that challenges their entire power structure. Once those court documents eventually overcome their legal barriers and the inheritance fraud is revealed and undone, your affluence is a global resource allocation for spiritual combat, not just a personal blessing. Coordinated efforts across several states are raiding their church cult fronts. Federal surveillance of their Masonic Lodge meetings records conspiracy allegations in real time. International collaboration that views their organization as a terrorist network is freezing their offshore bank accounts. Through DNA analysis and adoption record inquiries, the network of fictitious families and inserted relatives is being methodically disclosed, exposing the full extent of their human trafficking activities. To avoid destroying evidence and to make sure important individuals are unable to flee or organize their defenses, the raids are taking place concurrently. Cult deprogramming trained SWAT squads are rescuing victims who have been detained in these facilities for years. Computers with financial records that demonstrate the money laundering schemes that finance their illegal activities are being seized by forensic accountants. However, your protection goes beyond cosmic justice to include surgically precise, practical divine intervention. Mechanical failures and traffic accidents are disrupting travel plans that are intended to bring violence to your area, eliminating threats before they can become a reality. The angels sent to defend you aren't acting with tactful direction. They're using the kind of power that sends hired killers to the hospital with unexplained wounds and converts stalkers' cars into twisted metal. for individuals who have endured hardships and come out on the other side with wisdom that others cannot see. The Obsidian Inner Order offers a haven. We are aware that some events fall outside the realm of what most people believe is appropriate or feasible to talk about. Every week, real people with genuine faces get together live on Zoom to share their tales without passing judgment. This place can accommodate the experiences you've kept to yourself, the patterns you've observed that others ignore, and the intuitive wisdom you've acquired along the way. We comprehend, not just listen. You can listen to our recorded conversations and remind yourself that your perception is legitimate when you're having trouble understanding your experiences and feel deceived by a society that doesn't accept your truth. Become a member of the Obsidian Inner Order, where your voice is heard and your reality respected. In the description, there is a link. Ronettes, when you give $80, you extend a hand to heaven, and God fills it with miracles. The technical systems that these organizations rely on for coordination are manipulated as part of the supernatural intervention. Mysterious malfunctions in their encrypted communication networks are exposing communications to law enforcement monitoring. At crucial times, their cars' GPS systems fail, directing them to the wrong places or into zones where police are carrying out unrelated operations. Failures in their banking systems are also preventing them from accessing the money they need to operate. Even you will be shocked by the compound interest that will soon restore the spiritual heritage you have been denied. Through supernatural means, knowledge that was previously unknown to you is now accessible. Information that has been channeled through music, divine downloads during meditation, and prophetic dreams that foretell their future actions before they happen. The Most High will make sure you remain 3 steps ahead of any plan they come up with. Access to hidden libraries run by your real family line, knowledge bases spanning millennia of spiritual study and growth, is part of the restored heritage. Prophetic writings describe the precise timetable for the current revolution. Ancient texts disclose the true history of human awareness, and ritual instructions open powers that most people believe are impossible. The identical surveillance system they constructed to keep an eye on you is now visible to your spiritual vision, enabling you to watch what they do while being imperceptible to them. You have become so adept at seeing through their matrix programming that they can no longer deceive you. Under spiritual scrutiny, reality conditioning that held you submissive and obedient is crumbling like cheap special effects. The experiences of the foreign practitioners are the same. Compulsive thoughts about ending their lives, unexplainable depression, and rapid beginnings of suicidal ideation. Some have already been admitted to the hospital after attempting suicide, while others have vanished completely, leaving behind mysterious letters expressing regret for their involvement in assaults on someone they should never have come into contact with. High-ranking cult leaders, whose names are on sensitive investigation lists, are being prepped for cells in federal prisons. The dishonest police officer who assisted in the falsification of legal documents is going to learn that divine justice functions outside of the established legal system. Before criminal proceedings ever start, the disclosure of public officials involved in this scheme will ruin their reputations and careers. There is nowhere on earth where they can avoid the repercussions of attacking heaven's anointed, but their desperation has gotten so bad that some are trying to leave the nation. Special facilities for detainees who pose supernatural threats are part of the jail preparations. Their confinement centers are outfitted with technology that neutralizes psychic talents and stops ritual activities. Thus, they are not your typical jail facilities. To make sure these inmates are unable to carry on their activities while incarcerated, the staff comprises experts in spiritual warfare and cult deprogramming. The same protective intervention that has been protecting your personal journey is also protecting your divine love connection. Forces beyond human control are methodically destroying the karmic interference that was intended to keep you apart. The seemingly impossible timing is coming together with uncanny accuracy. The seemingly insurmountable distance is dissolving as all the required components are placed in place by divine orchestration. Not only is the reunion imminent, but it also signifies the beginning of a spiritual alliance that will intensify your particular missions into something these shadow groups truly dread. Legal triumphs have released the divine masculinity from all karmic entanglements. Evidence of the obsessive ex's criminal activity and mental instability led to the reversal of custody agreements that favored her. She is not allowed to contact either of you due to restraining orders. He has finances for the trip to you thanks to financial agreements that would have kept him impoverished but were renegotiated in his favor. The schedule for the reunion is moving faster than either of you anticipated. Unexpected windfalls are being used to finance travel plans that previously were financially unfeasible. Court rulings that support your union are resolving legal issues that might have caused your connection to be delayed for years. Your partnership is being supported even by pragmatic issues like housing and work. Photographs showing their ritualistic actions, audio recordings of their conspiracy, financial records demonstrating their deception, and medical records attesting to the illnesses they have disseminated as a result of their actions are all examples of the evidence that is growing against your adversaries. The physical evidence speaks for itself, even though federal investigators may not realize they are recording spiritual crimes. Bank documents demonstrating payments to practitioners, children's statements regarding trafficking activities, and bodies found in ritual arrangements. The criminal justice system is set to bring earthly repercussions for divine transgressions. If you give $65, you start not just a project, but a story that changes destiny. Images taken by security cameras at the venues of their meetings that document ritualistic actions that contravene several criminal statutes are among the photographic evidence. Federal judges who understood the extent of the plot approved wire tapping that produced the recorded talks. The financial records show that money laundering schemes were used to finance illegal activity in several different jurisdictions. According to the medical records, cult members purposefully use ritual contact to spread contagious diseases, causing public health problems that necessitated federal involvement. The children's accounts of their experiences support tangible proof discovered at trafficking locations. Payment patterns seen in bank records link illegal actions that don't seem to be connected into a larger conspiracy. Your spiritual shields are becoming stronger than they can imagine, so their attempts to activate your nervous system with focused energy attacks are failing. The anxiety attacks and migraine headaches they attempted to cause are returning with increased vigor. Insomnia is being caused by sleep-disrupting periods. They are making strategic mistakes that expose their operations to authorities because of the confusion and mental fog they are projecting toward you. A feedback loop is being created by the backfire effect, which increases their pain while fortifying your defenses. Their ability to function is being destroyed by the accumulated damage caused by each spell they cast that rebounds with more potency. According to the master wizards they employed, their own magical skills are declining, as though they have lost their link to supernatural sources forever. Your consciousness is undergoing a matrix-level awakening that is exposing the full extent of their deceit and the boundless potential of your power. The code you've deciphered is a methodical comprehension of their control systems and how to completely deconstruct them, not just personal illumination. You've become so adept at seeing through their delusions that they must completely shun your attention in order to survive. Access to information that reveals every facet of their operations is part of the awakening. Now, you can see through the identities they create to conceal their true selves, sense the energy signatures that identify their agents, and forecast their behavior using quantum-level pattern recognition. This isn't merely gut feeling. It's methodical understanding that renders you practically omniscient in their area of influence. However, since your spiritual position ensures divine disclosure of everything affecting your goal, they are no longer able to hide. The inheritance funds made available by court rulings will fund global awakening initiatives that go well beyond your own circumstances. Global awareness transformations will be accelerated by the energy vortex created by the twin flame union that is being planned. Other chosen individuals who are starting their own waking processes will also be covered by the ancestral protection that surrounds you. Funding for educational initiatives that will assist other selected individuals in identifying their talents and avoiding the pitfalls that were set for you is part of the resource distribution. Networks of communication that will unite awakening souls around the world. Assistance with legal matters for people battling comparable inheritance fraud. Medical support for individuals recuperating from ritual abuse and poisoning. Your success serves as the cornerstone for a network of support that will shield future chosen ones from the loneliness and bewilderment you went through. The upcoming windfall in your life is a divine resource allocation for the next stage of your spiritual assignment, not just monetary reward. When heavenly abundance enters your life, it gives you the drive to support other souls who are waking, finance projects, and topple oppressive structures that go well beyond your own circumstances. Your wealth becomes a weapon against scarcity conditioning and poverty consciousness, which lock people in fear-based institutions. Real estate holdings in key locations, investment portfolios that provide passive income for your missions, business partnerships with morally upright entrepreneurs who share your vision, and media platforms that will enable you to spread the truth to audiences around the world are just a few examples of the abundance that goes beyond money. New legislation that tightens restrictions on organizations that work with children, increases safeguards for survivors of ritual abuse, and establishes oversight measures to stop further government agency infiltration will be the outcome of the investigations. Protocols for international collaboration will be put in place to monitor and bring charges against transnational trafficking activities. Financial rules will be tightened to stop money laundering through charitable and religious institutions. The same betrayals that your former buddies inflicted on you are happening to you now. Unexpected reversals are causing family members who took from your inheritance to lose their own financial stability. Curse-sending practitioners are finding that their magic has irrevocably changed course, making every spell they perform worsen their own pain while fortifying your defense. The social networks that these groups rely on for recruiting and operations are being destroyed by the karmic reversals. As each member becomes aware that they are susceptible to the same betrayals they took part in against you, trust amongst them is eroding. Reverse prosperity formulas are draining cult coffers of riches, and financial relationships are breaking down. As practitioners become aware that their abilities have been irreversibly undermined, magical alliances are breaking up. Your own consciousness is undergoing the most profound change. The victim mentality that their programming attempted to inculcate has entirely vanished, to be replaced with an unwavering understanding of your divine identity and cosmic significance. Fear that formerly prevented you from making decisions has changed into righteous rage that motivates you to take calculated action. Your purpose-related confusion has solidified into a laser-like clarity regarding your mission and the resources available to carry it out. The angels sent to guard you are not using passive direction. Rather, they are using active involvement, which eliminates barriers and eliminates dangers with extraordinary effectiveness. When you give $12, it is sacred enough to wipe away a pair of tears, because God makes the small big. Every good development is accelerated by divine timing, and every evil plan your adversaries come up with is postponed or stopped. The coordination taking place on your behalf in the heavenly realms is greater than anything these conspirators on earth could arrange, guaranteeing that your most impromptu deeds will surpass their expectations and their most meticulously planned activities will fail. Because you pose a threat to their entire organization, the Masons dislike you. Your awakening disproves their theory. Their helplessness is revealed by your protection. Their poverty is demonstrated by your riches. Additionally, your goal makes their organization outdated. The idea that divine entities might be subdued, exploited, and harvested served as the foundation for their cult. Your existence is living evidence that cosmic justice always triumphs over human conspiracies, and that earthly powers cannot touch the anointed in heaven. Their realization that your enlightenment marks the end of their time of dominance is symbolized by the Masonic thread on your life. As chosen ones all throughout the world come to terms with their actual nature and assert their spiritual authority, their centuries-old methods of exploitation are becoming outdated. As a result of their disastrous attempt to harvest heavenly awareness, their targeted victims have grown stronger and their illicit activities have come to light. The judgment that permeates your circumstance isn't coming to an end. Rather, it's just getting started. Every triumph in your own life sets the stage for comparable triumphs across the globe. The spiritual armor that is offered to other chosen ones is strengthened with each protection you receive. Every bit of abundance that enters your life opens doors for other heavenly agents to experience prosperity. No shadow organization can stop or undo the collective liberty that results from your own awareness. Your awakening opened a portal that will never close. Every institution founded on deceit and exploitation will be destroyed by the cosmic tsunami, of which the practitioners whose spells are backfiring today are the first wave. The momentum to change not only your own circumstances, but also the entire planetary consciousness is carried by the divine justice booming at them. Chosen One, welcome to your power. The angels have arrived. The ancestors are at work, and everyone who believed they could defy heaven's decree is being thundered by divine justice. Your time has just begun, and theirs is over. The new earth is emerging via your awakening. The portal is open, and the judgment is flowing. What started out as assaults on your personal consciousness has evolved into the impetus for humanity's overall freedom from the spiritual oppressive structures that have ruled this world for thousands of years. The new earth that rises through your awakening is a reality in which the chosen ones lead human evolution toward its divine potential, in which those who serve consciousness rather than ego receive abundance, in which justice is administered by cosmic law rather than human corruption, in which children are taught to recognize and develop their gifts rather than to repress them, and in which romantic relationships are founded on spiritual compatibility rather than karmic manipulation. This story does not finish with your awakening. It's the start of a new era in which the world's chosen ones take control and make our planet the paradise it was always intended to be.